If you're trying to grow your app with organic content right now, I need to tell you something. It's harder than it's ever been. Not because the strategy is wrong, but because everything underneath it has fundamentally changed. Everybody wants to go viral on social media for their business, for their products. So the space is getting ultra competitive. The content that wins, that gets views, is getting more extreme and outrageous than ever before. All of these videos are getting pushed above yours. And even if you do get past that, even if you do crack organic content, you drive some conversions, you still have to manage these creators every single day. You have to give them specific content angles. You have to chase down the content. You have to review it. They have to post it. You have to track it. You have to pay the creators upfront to do all of this. And here's the part that sucks the most. You have to do all of this at volume. You can't just have one creator and one post going out daily. No, because it has gotten so competitive, you need a team, an army of creators. So no, organic isn't dead. But if you're doing it the same way that people used to do it 2 years ago, you're going to burn out before you ever get a chance to find a winner. In this video, I'm going to be showing you the exact step-by-step pipeline that founders today are using to scale their products and where organic content fits into it. Let's dive in. This entire document that I'm going to share right now is going to be in the description if you want it, but let's dive in. We're going to take you through each one of the sections here, and we're going to show you how to take advantage of the organic to paid pipeline, because this is what the winners are doing. They are running ads. And to prove that to you, let's look at the top grossing charts, the top grossing apps ever. And this shouldn't come as a surprise. Let's look at MyFitnessPal. Let's look at Strava. Let's look at Ladder, and let's just search them up, huh? MyFitnessPal running 21 ads. Strava running 270 ads. Ladder running 1,000 ads. Duolingo running 590 ads. The top grossing companies are all running ads. And don't get me wrong, they are running organic content as well. Organic is not dead, but the bar for organic content has absolutely exploded. So I can promise you, all of these companies are not getting a majority of their results through organic content. Now, these companies are massive, so that I'm sure they have great referral programs. There's word of mouth, but there's a reason they're all running hundreds, if not thousands of ads. It's because that is their main acquisition source. And yes, they're still working with creators. They're still posting content organically, but that's more top of funnel. That's more of an awareness play for these companies who understand the game. And let's be honest, as a small founder or even a mid-sized founder, a mid-sized company, the volume of creators and the willingness of these creators to do whatever to get views is playing at your disadvantage. It's harder than ever to get results strictly through organic content. You can instead use organic reach or use organic content as a testing ground, and then you take the winners and you scale with paid. And this makes the game so much easier because, to be honest, you're never going to be able to compete with Duolingo, a company with billions of dollars running 590 ads. You cannot compete with them on paid ads. Their strategy is to upload as many creators to paid ads as possible, burn money, and find a couple winners. And they scale that way. You can't do that as a solo founder, even a mid-sized company. You cannot compete with Duolingo. They will simply outspend you. But what you can do is work harder on organic content. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. And you can use the organic content as your first layer of validation before you run these on paid. You should never be testing a piece of content on paid without testing it organically first. We always start with organic content because it costs $0 to start. But let me show you why organic content doesn't work like it did 2 years ago. Here is your funnel. Let's imagine that this is the funnel for your product, the funnel for your app. At the very top, you have organic views. Getting views is hard enough, but you know what's even harder? Because it's organic, there's no button on the video. There's no call to action. So the user has to watch your video and then be incentivized enough. They have to think your product is so good, they need it right now, that they have to swipe out and search for your product. The URL, they have to search for it in the App Store. This right here is where you will lose 90, 95, 99% of the people who even find your product somewhat interesting. I see it time and time again. Founders say, I went viral, I got 8 million views, but I didn't get any conversions. Guess what? This is why. Because your video has to be so freaking good. You have to show up first on Google search, or you have to show up first on the App Store for a specific keyword. They have to know your exact app name, and they have to find you organically after swiping out of the dopamine machine that is TikTok. Do you know how hard it is to drag someone's attention away from TikTok or Instagram? It's impossible. And on organic, they have to do this. So you have to be extremely, extremely good at organic content in convincing people they need your product right now or it's not going to work. Your drop off at this stage is going to be huge. And then on top of that, when they do search for you, they're going to see all your competitors. So when you're going viral organically, this is something that I experienced at PuffCount. When I was going viral organically, there were competitors trying to attack my keywords because they knew I was pushing so much volume organically and they were getting installs based on the work that I was doing. People are profiting off of your organic reach. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but you're making the game so much harder for yourself. But when you run paid ads, you can skip all of this nonsense. You go straight to them on your page. They don't see your competitors. They don't have to search. They don't have to find. They don't have to sift. They don't even have to swipe out of TikTok. They just click a button and bang, they land on your app install page. And it's so much easier. You skip this massive drop-off part of the funnel. And again, there are companies that are succeeding with organic content, like TurboLearn, one of the great case studies of organic content. But they're doing this at such an insane volume that it works for them. They have 50, 100, probably hundreds of creators consistently posting content. They figured out the format that works. Their product is compelling enough, and they're in the right niche to get people to swipe out of TikTok and go search for their product. TurboLearn also runs ads. They validate the content organically and they run ads. You can combine organic content and you can combine paid ads. And this is how I scaled PuffCount to 45K per month. I went viral organically. I spent years making organic content and only pushing installs through organic content, when in reality, if I had started running paid ads sooner, I would have scaled so much faster and I would have had a lot less headache. I would have had to been making content every single day. So when you combine these two ideas, it's actually much better for you, because a common mistake is people spend first on paid ads. You don't have to do that. You don't have to upload 50 creatives to paid ads and spend $100 on each creative just to see if it works or not. You don't have to do that. Post organically for free or cheap with creators like I'm about to show you how to do. And then you simply scale what's proven. You look at the engagement, you look at the comments, maybe you got a couple of conversions from an organic piece of content, and then you put it on paid. I want to show you what that looks like. All these red boxes are a visualization of your organic content. You should be posting a lot of it, different angles, different creators, great. And then maybe you have a couple pieces of organic content that, maybe got some views, maybe they got you some installs, maybe they got a bunch of good comments, maybe they got likes, they got higher engagement than usual. You have 5 winners out of these 50 or so that you posted organically. And then you test these 5 winners on paid ads and you find that one that is profitable for you. You find that one that gives you a 1-to-2, 1-to-3 LTV to CAC ratio. But guess what? This one video pays for all of the tests. Just like VC funding or an investor. You take a lot of small bets. You see some potential, you post them, you take a bet on that post. There's a couple standouts, but you have that one that just becomes a unicorn, goes to the moon, and you run with that company. That's your winner. This is the organic to paid pipeline. This is low cost. Posting all of this content organically is low cost. And then you're reducing your cost on paid ads by only testing the ones that got validated organically, which I will show you here in a second. And then boom, you have your one winning paid ad. Guess what? I tested a majority of my content from PuffCount on paid ads, and only 2 of these videos really scaled for me. But all it took was 2. I took 2 of these organic videos, scaled them on paid ads, and they scaled for a long time for me. And that's how I was able to scale PuffCount to 45K per month. Something you have to keep in mind here is volume negates luck. You need to maximize the amount of shots that you have on target. You need to maximize the amount of organic content that you are posting, and then find a winner and you can scale on paid. So there is a 4-step pipeline to get this done effectively. If you skip a step, it's probably not going to work for you. You understand what content is working in your niche, you mass produce that content, you find the organic winners, and then you scale them on paid. That's it. So how do you mass produce and test at scale organically as needed? Here is the step-by-step process for that. Before you work with a single creator, before you create a single piece of content, you need to do market research. You can go onto the Facebook ads library and you can look at what's working for your competitors. You can go to this explore ads on TikTok page. You can see what's working for other companies in your niche. You can go organically on TikTok and you can type in your keywords to see what's working. But ultimately, you have to have some sort of plan before you post organically or before you run anything on paid ads. You need to identify formats. This is the way I do it. Put together market research, understand what is going viral in my niche, save all the most viral videos to a spreadsheet, and bang, that's your market research done. Go into it with a plan and you will succeed much faster. Then you need to mass produce this content. You need to post 50 variations, not just one. You can't identify a piece of content that has gone viral in your niche post it one time or post one variation of it and then it does well or it doesn't and you call it a winner or a loser. You can't do that. You have to post a lot because volume negates luck. So you pick your 3 formats and then you post them relentlessly and you see which format performs the best. Now, how do you get 50 variations while only paying for results and only paying for the content that you approve? Well, of course, that's where posted comes into play. For each one of these formats that you have identified, you build a brief, you build a campaign, a deal campaign. You tell the creators exactly how to make that content from your market research, and then creators will make that content for you for free, and they will submit the fully finalized video to you, and you only pay if you like it. You only pay if the creators did a good job. So you get to watch the video, and you get to see what the creator wants to be paid for that video, and you can approve or you can decline, or you can negotiate, you can do whatever you'd like. And if you do approve, you'll see that we declined 33 in this campaign, we accepted 28. When you do approve, the creator will post it organically on their own profile, and you will own the video and you will own the Spark Ads code for life so that you can move on to the next phase of this, which is testing it on paid ads. And this is the easiest way to get content in mass while only paying for stuff that's high quality. This creator did all the work up front. She made this video, finalized the video, and then submitted it, and I only pay if I like it. This is the easiest and the fastest way to get multiple variations of your formats in mass and only pay for results. And naturally, with this campaign, what you're gonna get is different creators. You're gonna get different hooks, different CTAs, different tonality with all these different creators. And that's the key to paid ads. There's subtle differences in each piece of content that will make or break the performance on paid ads. Another thing to keep in mind when you're validating these pieces of content organically, just because it doesn't get a ton of views doesn't mean it's a bad creative. You have to take into account the size of the creator. If a creator with 1,000 followers gets 10,000 views on a video, that's probably a good signal. If a creator with 50 million followers gets 10,000 views on a video, that's probably a bad signal. What you should be looking at instead is the engagement, the likes, the shares, the comments. Are the comments engaging in that video? If they are, that is an extremely positive signal for you. So just because a clip flops, quote unquote flops, and doesn't go viral organically doesn't mean it's not going to be a killer paid ad. So again, you validate with engagement. We post a lot of content organically, pick a few that we'd like to test on paid ads, and then one winner pays for all the tests. And again, you don't just have to take my word for it. Facebook, Meta themselves has mentioned this in their latest Andromeda update. Embrace creative diversity. Simplify your account structure. It doesn't need to be an overcomplicated ad structure. Prevent ad fatigue. Frequently update and refresh your creatives every 1 to 2 weeks to provide them with fresh signals. You need as much content as possible. If you want to get started on Posted and you only want to pay for content that you absolutely love, I have a link below. You can book a strategy call with me, with our team, and we will show you exactly how to set up one of these campaigns, and we will even help you set up the paid ads off the back of this organic content. If you watched this far, you probably enjoyed the video, and I would definitely appreciate your feedback on this format. Kind of just me here riffing, trying to drop value. Let me know if you like this video or not. Let me know what you want me to cover in the next video. And of course, as always, if you have any questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram at steven.builds. I will always get back to you there. Happy building, happy scaling. See you on the next one. Peace.